Well, good morning and welcome to Living Beyond Limits. I'm Reverend Jennifer Spear and we are a part of Centers for Spiritual Living, and I'm so glad that you've joined us this morning. So I invite you to join me right now in reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. So that's what we're doing here at Living Beyond Limits, is we are creating this sanctuary, this place that is safe and loving and warm and encouraging, where we might explore our own spirituality, where we can walk this path giving way to and experiencing and discovering our own spiritual nature. Because the truth is, we are each and every single one of us out picturings of that one infinite creative intelligence and presence in this universe. But it's only when we come to recognize that that is always within us, that we are never separate or apart from that presence of goodness and love and peace. When we recognize that that is always within us, then we have access to it. Because as you know, when we're out in the world, sometimes there are challenges, there are difficulties, but knowing that that is already within us, that love is within us, peace is within us, that the truth of who we are is wholeness and goodness, we aren't as reactive to what's going on out there. It puts us at a place of choice where we can be cause of our experience. And as we do that, then we are participating in our own spiritual evolution. And because we are connected to everyone and everything, we're actually participating and assisting that whole upliftment of humanity, that whole evolution of humanity, as we give way to our own spirits and as we give way to that one presence. And so I thank each and every single one of you for walking this path, for bringing your light into this world in a way that makes a difference, in a way that contributes to the good of all of us. Thank you for that. And so on platform this morning is our practitioner, David Conant. He is going to lead us in an evocation as we begin to evoke an awareness of the presence of spirit that is always right where we are, and do a contemplative reading for us. So happy Easter, everybody. So today I'm talking about the Easter story and about spring and how both of those things apply to us today. Because as metaphysicians, we really want holidays to actually be meaningful to us and to be relevant to us and to our spiritual path. And so the Easter story tells us of a man who died and then who rose up out of the tomb transfigured. The symbolism of that story also tells us about someone moving out of a realm of confinement, out of the confinement of this human, egoic experience that we are all living, out of a world of struggle and of difficulty and of that which seems to us to be limiting. It was a story of leaving the limitations of the world behind and instead moving into a realm of freedom, a realm of liberation, a heavenly realm, leaving all of those limitations behind as he or we move into that heavenly realm. So it is a story about moving from constraint to possibility. It's a story about moving from what appears to be final to that which is revealed as unfinished, about awakening to something bigger. And if we look at those modern symbols of Easter, of bunnies and eggs and chicks and Easter colors, the colors of spring, All of that came out of pagan celebrations long before Jesus was born. And if you don't already know, the goddess Oster, who is the goddess of renewal and rebirth and new possibilities after the darkness and death of winter, she is the one that Easter has been named after. And her symbol is the rabbit, to be pregnant with possibilities. So those brightly colored eggs that we see today in Easter baskets were also part of that celebration. Those eggs reminding us that there is new life within and that there are possibilities that we cannot yet see because they're hidden in that egg. And like spring, with the new flowers and all the new greenery that is springing forth, it actually takes the right environment and the right conditions and the openness for those new things to spring forward. And so the symbolism of both of the stories, of spring and the eggs and the bunny and of Jesus rising, all of those speak to the untruth of limitation. They speak of the eternal availability of newness and expansion and possibility. All of those symbols speak to us about the fact that already implanted within us is something greater. And that greater yet to be has always been implanted within us from the very beginning. We don't have to find it outside of ourselves. We don't have to go searching for it. It's already in here as part of our own spiritual nature. And so when we let go of the lesser, when we let go of limited ways of being, that's participating in that resurrection story like David's reading was. When we let go of that which no longer serves us, that which is keeping us from living our best lives, we are participating in our own resurrection, leaving behind that which is limited. So we can leave behind thoughts and beliefs that don't support us in living our best lives. We can let go of old ideas and old things that we were indoctrinated within so that we might live our best lives and bring our best selves to this world. But we have to create space to allow that to happen. It doesn't necessarily happen out of our own normal egoic way of moving about the world. We have to be conscious and create space for that to come forward. And so there's a story that says, once upon a time there was a man who loved living in his tropical paradise. Having been born on the island where his parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents had always lived, he held in his heart a special place for the beauty of the palm trees, the white sand, the sloping mountains, the gentle climate. This man, approaching death, told his loved ones to place some island sand in each of his hands so that he might hold onto the memory of this beloved place forever. They did, and so the man proceeded to the gates of heaven, still clutching the sand. At the gate, he was warmly greeted and told that as soon as he emptied his hands of the sand, he could enter eternal joy. The man was crushed, for he could not let go of what he loved so much, and so he waited. And he waited for a long, long time, so long that his hands grew weary and could no longer hold the sand. It eventually slipped through his fingers, lost forever. At that moment, Jesus came to him, holding the man as he sobbed at the loss of his memory, and said, "Come now and enter into your rest." With that, Jesus walked the man through the gates of heaven, where there before them both stretched out the entirety of the man's beloved island. We have to let go of the lesser so that we can experience the greater. We have to let go of what is no longer serving us so that we can move into being served by life, by spirit, by our own spirit in a greater way. And so Easter then isn't just about Jesus. That on a very personal and individual level, it's about our spiritual capacity and our ability to overcome that which seems limiting, to overcome that which holds us back, to overcome that which has held us down. And so the title of this talk today is A Sacred Rising. And I'm talking about that we are able to overcome those things by seeing through them, by seeing behind them to that which is already present and already greater. That seeing through our past mistakes, seeing through our obstacles, seeing through those things that we hold as limitations, and instead seeing the divine potential that is already present in us, that is already present in every moment, that is already present in that situation. Just like the thing that's hiding inside of those Easter eggs. Scott Aubrey said, at its deepest level, Easter is not only about the resurrection of the one life, but about the eternal possibility of a resurrection of every life. As Thomas Troward wrote, Jesus was not the great exception, he was the great example. Easter is not merely a remembrance of a divine prophet from 2 millennia ago. It is an invitation to awaken to the divinity within ourselves, to the sacred potential that lives and breathes and awaits to arise within each of us. I know we all have challenges in our lives. We all have things that are difficult, places where we feel stuck. And we all desire to be able to master those challenges, to be able to overcome those challenges. And so last week, I had a challenge in my life. If you don't know, I work at a hair salon 2 days a week, and parking has become very tight at the salon. The parking lot is full, and we have street parking out front, and there's enough room for 4 people to park on this side of the driveway and 4 people to park on that side of the driveway. And I got to work on Wednesday morning, and the first person had parked about this far from the driveway, so when I came in as car number 4, my bumper was about this far from the Tesla in front of me so that I could fit in there. So when I came into the salon, I asked somebody who I thought it was, I said, "Is that your car out front?" And she said yes. And I said, "I have a favor to ask of you. In the future, when you park, will you just scoot your car up closer to the driveway because we really need to be able to get 4 cars in because the parking's so tight." And she says to me, "Oh, someone was parked in front of me when I got here." I know, and I did that. I was shocked. And so I went and put my stuff away and thought, did I not see that right? And so I went back out and looked. There was not enough room for a car to park in front of her. And I started getting really mad about it. It's like, why lie? I just don't understand. And I was mad, and so I came back in the salon. I go, "There was nobody parked in front of you," and went over and continued to do my stuff. She's mad now. She comes over to me and goes like this, "You have a booger in your nose." I'm like, "What?" And I look in the mirror. I do not have a booger in my nose. And so I'm mad, and I start my client, and I'm mad. And pretty soon I start thinking, it's like, you know what? What is mine in this? I can't be responsible for her and what she says and what she does. I'm responsible for what is in here. And so I calmed down, and I thought to myself, you know what? So later on we finish, and it's an hour later, and I go back and I said, "You know what?" And I put my hand on her, "Rosie, I just want to let you know I wasn't making you wrong. That's my part in this." And she lied 2 more times to me about stuff. But you know what? That isn't mine. The rising up is me coming from my highest self. Me coming from love and from compassion and from kindness. I can't fix whatever her issues are of why she thinks she has to lie about stuff. Mine is what's happening in here. And I think that is the invitation of Easter, is for us to rise up and come from our best selves. But in order to do that, we have to be able to see beyond this material realm, to see the truth of our own spirit in here, to see the truth of who and what we are and what we're made of. Cynthia Hayes, who was a Unity minister, said, Easter is not about the crucifixion. It's not about the ones jabbing spears or pounding in nails. The whole point of the resurrection, it's all about the incredible strength and beauty that rises up because of the challenge. Jesus demonstrated that when we remember who we truly are, when we overcome our own sense of littleness and separation, when we stop crucifying others and ourselves, we too can work wonders and spread healing light in the world. Your resilience is your brilliance. And Easter is every moment you choose to step into the truth of who you are. Every time you step into the truth of who you are, love, who you are, wholeness, who you are, the essence of harmony and of power and your own spiritual nature. That's the resurrection for us personally. Those challenges that happen in our lives are there to assist us in awakening to that which is greater. And the discomfort that we feel when those challenges happen, the frustration or the anger or the irritation or whatever it is, that discomfort has a purpose. We can sit in that discomfort and we can stew and we can be angry and we can talk about it and we can tell our friends about it. Or we can heed its call and use that discomfort to shift into something else, to shift into our spiritual nature, to let go of a lesser perspective and get a higher perspective, to let go of a lesser belief and take on a greater one, to let go of a lesser attitude and adopt a bigger one, to rise up above what's happening and into our own spiritual magnificence, our own spiritual power. There's a story that says, twins are talking to each other in the womb. The sister said to the brother, I believe there is life after birth. And the brother protested vehemently, no, this is all there is. This is a dark and cozy place, and we have nothing else to do but cling to this cord that feeds us. The little girl insisted, there must be something more than this dark place. A place where there's light and freedom to move. She could still not convince her twin brother. After some silence, the sister said hesitantly, I have something else to say, and I'm afraid you won't believe that either. But I think there is a mother. The brother became furious. A mother, he shouted. What are you talking about? I have never seen a mother, and neither have you. Who put that idea in your head? As I told you, this place is all we have. Why do you always want more? This is not such a bad place after all. We have all that we need, so let's just be content. The sister was quite overwhelmed by her brother's response, and for a while didn't dare say anything more. But she couldn't let go of her thoughts, and since she only had her twin brother to speak to, she finally said, don't you feel these squeezes every once in a while? They're quite unpleasant. And sometimes they're even painful. Yes, he answered. What's special about that? Well, the sister said, I think that these squeezes are there to get us ready for another place, much more beautiful than this, where we will see our mother face to face. Don't you think that's exciting? Those squeezes, the things that are uncomfortable, are trying to move us into our own greater yet to be. That's their purpose. We are here to discover our greater potential. That's what our souls long to do. And when we lean into those challenges, allowing them to stretch us and grow us, what happens is then we gain greater self-confidence. We gain greater self-esteem. We become more anchored in spirit and anchored in our own spiritual nature. In turn, we gain more trust in ourselves and more trust in life, more trust in the good. Reverend Scott Aubrey said, when Jesus walked out of the tomb, he emerged into the fullness of his divine nature. He was becoming all that he was called to be, and in doing so, showed us that resurrection is not only an event, but a realization. It comes out of the realization that we are more, that we are limitless, that potential is our divine right. So our resurrection happens out of that realization that that potential lives within us because spirit lives within us. That means all of the love, all of the intelligence, all of the wisdom, all of the creativity, all of the peace, all of the power, all of the wholeness that you could ever need is already within you. But you must access it. So Easter is an invitation to awaken to that sacred potential within us that is awaiting our giving way to it. You know, I didn't have to shift when I had that incident with a coworker, but it's waiting for us to just open up to that. So the problem is so often is that we have a faulty concept of who we are and what we are. We think we're just this limited human being. We hold on to these ideas that we have adopted that say, I can't, fill in the blank, whatever you're holding on to, or I'm not enough, or comparing ourselves to others, or messages that we got in our childhood that aren't serving us living our best life today. Those things keep us in self-doubt. We lose sight of our own divine nature, of spirit within us, that which is limitless, that which will always guide us and lead us if we listen to it. We are of spirit, and spirit is our essence. So to rise above those challenges in our lives, though, to be transformed, we must consciously be connected to that within us, to our inner beingness, to our spirit, to our own wholeness, to the love within us, to that within us which is eternal and doesn't get bounced around by the things in the world. And so I would like to invite you to join me in a meditation right now. So if it feels comfortable to you, I invite you to close your eyes and just to become still. Become aware of that place deep within you where there is perfect stillness. The stillness that is at the very depth of your being. Here within lies the part of you that is beyond personality, beyond ego, beyond receiving its identity from the outside world. As we let go of our outer identification, we find the ever-present, pure, unhindered, limitless self. When we let go of this outer identification, we are aware of the purity of spirit, the love, the light, the truth, that the divine is the essence of our own spirit. When we let go of our ego identification, we move beyond ideas of not being enough. We move beyond feelings of limitation and doubt. We no longer identify with our past wounds. We identify instead with the spirit of our being. As limitations of the ego dissolve, we step into our inherent, eternal wholeness. Here within lies the wholeness of the one and only. Here within lies infinite potentiality. Here is all the power, the love, the compassion, the creativity that we will ever need. It is from this inner wholeness that we can change the world. From this inner wholeness, we have much to give. In this inner communion, we are in alignment with the living Spirit's vision for our lives and for our world. In this stillness, the Divine One speaks to our hearts. You are the light of the world. You are the love, the wholeness of spirit in manifest form. You lack for nothing, for the allness of spirit is right here within. Closer than breath and nearer than hands and feet lives the infinity of the One. So as we enter this silence for a moment, I invite you just to rest in the wholeness of being. So I invite you to begin to release the meditation. Feel the seat beneath you, your feet on the floor. And taking a deep breath, and when you're ready to open your eyes. So my invitation to you is to know that you were created to rise above. You were created to master and to conquer the challenges that show up in your life. You already have within you everything that you need to master those challenges. You already have the intelligence and the wisdom and the love and the power of the infinite behind you and within you. For it is the essence of who you are. You are here to give way to your own spiritual magnificence, to give way to your limitless spirit, your own divine potential. And my invitation is also to be aware of when you are coming from smallness, to notice it. Notice when you're responding from a place of woundedness or smallness or an old idea that doesn't serve you or whatever it is, and be willing to let that go, to let your smallness go, and instead to rise up to express your greatness in this world and in your own life. And as a result of that, you'll be participating in your own resurrection, in your own sacred rising. And so happy Easter and happy spring to all of you. Blessings to you. And so I invite you to join me in an affirmative prayer as we take our attention and turn it to that capital T truth. That yes, indeed, there is one infinite presence. And that presence fills all of time and all of space with its beingness. It is that from which everything has sprung forth, this creative intelligence. This absolute intelligence that lives within every single thing in this universe. That intelligence that acts as migratory impulses in animals. The intelligence that a mother knows to feed a baby, a mother animal. That intelligence within us that turns our breakfast into bone and muscle. Recognizing that we live in that intelligence. And that intelligence lives within us. I recognize that the very essence of the Spirit is love and peace and harmony and goodness. For that is what supports us. That is what leads us and what guides us, and it is the same essence as our own spirit. For we are individualized expressions of this one presence. And so today, we lean into it. We lean into our own divine nature. We lean into our own spirit. And from there, we are guided and we are led to make the best choices for ourselves, the best choices for others, the best choices for this world and for life and for the whole of humanity. And so we commit ourselves to listening within, to moving beyond brokenness, to move beyond limited ideas, and instead to look within where that presence resides. And so I speak this word not just about us, but about every single person on this planet, knowing that right where they are is also this one presence. And right now it is unfolding itself as whatever the need is. For this presence is a presence of bounty and opulence of all good. And so the need is being met. That presence is pouring itself forth as an abundance of good, as wholeness and health as harmony in relationships, as an abundance and prosperity, as wisdom and guidance, as connection and care and compassion and unity. I speak this word knowing that that same presence is alive and well right now in every single world leader, in every single politician, in every single military leader. That presence right now is revealing itself through the heart and the mind of each and every single person, guiding, leading, so that we might all thrive on this planet, so that we might create heaven on earth. And so I release this prayer into that creative law of the universe, knowing that it is unfolding itself right here and right now, because we have created a greater opening for it to unfold right here in this moment. We are simply recognizing the truth, and as we do that, it unfolds itself. And so I release this prayer, and in gratitude, I invite you to join me in saying, "And so it is." So I do have some invitations for you. One is we set a date for the book club discussion, which is going to be April 23rd at 12:30. It's a Thursday, I think, at Sharon Baker and Bruce Baker's house. We have been reading the book Alan Levi's Theo of Golden. So we're going to get together at 12:30 so we can bring a sack lunch and we can have lunch and we can discuss the book together. So put that on your calendar. We are also having, for the second year in a row, a women's movie festival that's going to happen at Joy Jane's house. Last time we watched, I think, maybe 4 shorts that were movies directed by women, about women, acted in by women. So we invite you to do that exactly. It was super fun, and we talked about them. We had a great time. That's going to be May 5th. At 5 p.m. at Joy Jane's house, so put that on your calendar. 5 o'clock was a compromise so the people that are working can come, and the people that don't drive at dark, it will still be light outside, so they can come too. So, also, I forgot to put in these invitations, is April 19th, which is just around the corner. We are having a pancake breakfast fundraiser after service at Chris and Peggy's house. It's going to be, you set your own price to come to the pancake breakfast. It'll be pancakes and fruit and hard deviled eggs and all sorts of stuff, and have a good time together. So put that on your calendar also. Our Sunday talks are available on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page, and they land in your email box. We invite you to follow us on Facebook and share those postings. The talks get posted to Facebook. Share those. So all you have to do is hit the share button. It goes out to your friends. Follow us on Instagram and check in on Meetup and say that you're coming. And we have prayer support after service. And that is yes? Okay, I finally had directories printed that has everybody's information in it. They are on the back table. They have a turquoise cover sheet that I forgot to make a cover sheet, so it's just a blank piece of paper, so you'll have to write on it that's Living Beyond Limit Directory 2026. And so I invite you to repeat after me, good fills my life now. Good fills my life now. I recognize it. I savor it. I love it. And I live it. And so it is.